Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is a technology video on basics of Google Forms and how you can use it in medical education and routinely how can we use Google Forms. So I request you to watch it till the end as it has so many different methods of using Google Forms. So if you want to use Google Form, what is essential is that we have a Gmail account. So once you log into your Gmail, this is the window that you will see. You will see on the left hand side the inbox, the sent, and on the upper right hand corner you will see these icons. So you see these 9 dots. So these 9 dots are the Google apps. So once you click onto these 9 dots, you get a variety of Google apps, and here we have to choose the option Google Drive. So once you're inside your Drive, how you access the Google Forms is by clicking New and scrolling down to More, and there you will see the first one is a Google Form. So before I teach you how to create a form, I'll go into some of the basics. So here you can see I have 5 different types or different uses of a Google Form. The first scenario is where you have created a Google Form for registration of a particular CME or conference. So this is very common. Nowadays you see that they usually send the registration form in the form of a Google Form. So why is it useful? One thing is you can collect the demographics and even tabulate information such as the transaction number, bank branch number. You can even collect information such as their KMC ID. Why is this important? Because anyway, after collecting this information, you would have wanted to put it on an Excel sheet. But all this is made simple by Google Form as it automatically tabulates everything into an Excel sheet. Next scenario is where either in a class or after a CME you want to take feedback. So earlier what we used to do, we used to give them physical handouts, then tabulate them and further analyze them. But you can see in Google Forms the same thing can be digitized, the same type of questions, whether in the form of a Likert scale where you're asking whether the content was well organized, or you can give a rating scale where you're giving 1 to 5 and you can ask them to rate your lecture, your CME or a particular module. Or you can give this type of multiple choice grid where on the left hand side you can have the variety of things that they have to assess you at, and on the right hand side you can see all the ratings of those particular entities. Then there is one more option. Which is called as a checkbox grid. So the difference between these two I will be covering later. And then there are some paragraph answers. So here also not only does it help you to collect the information, but it also helps you tabulate the same. Finally, coming to the two most commonly used, one is in the form of a test where you can give any type of questions. So you can give a clinical history, and along with the clinical history you can definitely add in images. So in most of our subjects we can either add histopathology images or clinical images or images of tests, and we can ask the student the diagnosis. So anything that you can conduct in a real test can be conducted, and most of these, and to conduct these tests you don't need to have all these cases. You already find a good image repository online. The next variety is a quiz. So the difference between the two is, one thing for sure is that quiz is mainly in the form of multiple choice questions. So you cannot conduct a short answer or a paragraph answer as a quiz. It has to always be in the form of multiple choice questions or yes or no, where the computer can immediately analyze, and you will see that it shows the total points on top and the points for each question. So here each of the question is for 5 points. So, and there is an option that the moment the student ends the quiz, he immediately will get to know the score of that particular test. And finally, the last format is a consent form. So here this is a medical education consent form where the consent form is clubbed with the questionnaire. So here what we can do is we can give the first part of your Google form, which includes the demographics and the consent. So if the person consents to take part in your study, then he goes on to the second part. However, if he declines, then he just exits from the study. So this is a very comfortable way that you can conduct studies such as knowledge attitude practice in medical education, where you can make it completely digitized and which will further help you even in analyzing the results. So now I will come to how to create a Google form and how you can do each one of this. So to create a Google form, I'd already shown you. You have to go to this new, scroll down to more, and then click Google form. Okay. So one thing is, whatever you name the Google form, automatically it gets, the entire document gets named with the same name. So I'll give the example. So here first I'd like to show you a registration form. Registration form. So the moment I enter the name here and I click at the untitled form name on top, you will see it automatically changes to the name that I have typed in the title. So you can give a description and Google form automatically guesses the question. So for example, if my first question is name, you can see that automatically it changes the option from multiple choice to short answer. For the second, if I type in age, you will see this multiple choice changes to short answer, plus it makes sure that all these answers must be a number only, so no one can write an alphabet in their age column. So how do you do that? So if it automatically does not get selected, the other way of doing this is you click these three dots below your question and then click response validation, and here you can choose that the answer should be only a number, only a text, should have a particular length or a particular expression. So now to choose the next question, you have to click this plus add question, and you don't have to worry if the questions are in a haphazard order, because if you go to the left hand corner where you can see these 6 dots, you can go to the left hand corner and you can move them above or below. Okay. So now you want to collect the KMC number or the medical council number. You will see automatically it makes it into a short answer, but I can further validate it either by only a number or I can keep it open as a short answer, because we usually will write our medical council name and number in the same column. So this is how you will do a registration form. So one thing you would have noticed when you work on Google Drive is there is no save button. It saves for every second, and that is why you don't have to worry even if you have forgotten to save this, because for every second it is constantly getting saved on your Google Drive. So how do you, if you want to see how this form looks, all you have to do is go to this eye image on the upper right corner which says preview, and if you click it, one more window will open which will show how it will look. So coming back to the form, you can customize the theme by clicking this. The most important is this button called settings. So if you click to this, you have multiple options. So first is collect email address. The moment you click this as yes, students or participants will have to log in with your Gmail ID to actually respond to your Google form. So this particular option we usually use when we give a quiz, where we want to make sure that that student is only answering that particular quiz form. And for a quiz, we usually will restrict it to one response. But when you want to share it as a registration form, you will not take this one response, because what you want is you want people to share this Google form and as many participants to register. So with the same link, multiple people can respond. Whereas the moment you click this limit to one response and the collect email address, people will get restricted as with one email address, only one time they can respond. Respondents can edit after submit. So this is not an option that we usually choose. See summaries in charts and text responses. So if you tick this, the student will get the full summary of what he has responded. Second option, so show progress bar. So this is very useful, because once you tick this, the student will always know which question he is currently answering. Shuffle question order, this is usually given in a multiple choice question where you don't want students to copy. So it will shuffle the question order and even the answers also. And show link to submit another response. So this will only be ticked on if you have unchecked this limit to one response. And finally, you can set a confirmation message like thanks for responding, or thanks for registering to our CME. The next one is quiz. So you can make this a quiz only when all your questions are multiple choice questions and you have set the correct answer. So you can't make every Google form into a quiz. There are some particular things that you have to take note when you make it into a quiz. So only the settings will have an option of save. So after you've made the changes, you can click save. Next is how do we send it to different people? So you have to click this button send. So it gives you different options and the most commonly used is this. So this is share with the link. So here you can see a very long link will come, and Google gives you this option of shortening the link or shortening the URL. So the moment you click that, you can see the link has become much shorter. So all you have to do is you have to copy this and you can paste it on WhatsApp, or you can copy it and paste it in your brochure. So the moment someone types this link, he'll immediately be redirected to your particular Google form. So I'll just show you. So I've copied the link and now I'll open a new window and I'll paste the link and I'll click enter. So you can see that it's asking me to fill this. So I'll fill in random particulars. Raj 25 KMC submit. And if many people submit, there's one more person who also fills. Submit. So what do you see as the creator when people submit? So I'll go. So here you can see already it's showing me 2 people have responded. So you can see it's instantaneous. The moment someone responds, within a second, you will get to know that 2 people have responded. So you have this option of seeing their answers as a collated data or individual data. But what is more important in a registration form is I want it on an Excel sheet. So here on the upper right hand corner of this particular sheet, you can see there's a create spreadsheet. So the moment you click that, it will ask whether I want to create a new spreadsheet. I'm clicking create. So it will take some time. And once it's created, it will automatically open the spreadsheet. And here you can see that it's automatically tabulated all the entries, the name in one column, the age, the medical council number, and even the timestamp at what time who has registered. This is very useful when you want to track this transaction ID with the time and date of transaction. So you don't have to ask them the date and time of transaction or date and time of entry, because the timestamp is always there on a Google form. So even when you're conducting a quiz, you will know that which students have given the quiz between a particular time. For example, if you fix a slot, you can always monitor that in that particular 1 hour only you will consider the answers. So this is how we created a registration type of Google form. So next I'll go to a feedback Google form. So I'll click new, scroll down and click Google Forms. So what is different about a feedback form? You can see one thing is that it has a lot of these checkered options where there's a single rating scale, there is a multiple choice grid, and there is a checker box grid. So how do you set these different types of grids? So I'll label it as feedback demo. So here you can title it as uh, name of the person who's answering. The next one, I'll directly show you how to do a multiple choice grid. So here I can set the main question as rate the quality of my Google Forms video. So instead of having multiple questions where I can ask you the audio quality of my video, the video quality of my video, my clarity of speech, the voice modulation, I can put all of them into a single multiple choice grid. On the rows, I can label the different things that you want to rate me by. So on the left, you can have audio quality. Second row, voice modulation. And finally you can have video quality. So you can have any number in this particular multiple choice grid, and here you can have good, average, bad. So even this is not restricted. You can see every time I add an option, immediately there's one more option. And you can make it compulsory that they have to mark a response in every row, so that people don't miss a particular box by mistake. So once you finish that, this is how it will look. For the audio, they'll be able to give me one of these scores. For my voice modulation, one of these scores. And the presentation skills, one of these scores. So here in multiple choice grid, one thing is for every row, they can only pick one choice. Whereas the difference between the other option, that is your checkbox grid, for every row you can pick more than one box. So here I can tell areas of improvement, and I can make it as a checkbox. So I can give the same thing. I can give it as audio, presentation. I can give it as Google Forms. So what all topics need improvement, you can suggest. YouTube video, all topics. So here you can notice that for audio, you can click that you need it for both these topics, or you can even click all. So you can have multiple options here, and a person can click more than one choice in this particular variety of form. And now next we'll go to the test and the test form, which I will even convert it into a quiz form, because there is not much of a difference between these two entities. So here I will set it as a quiz. So you can set any questions, and you can have a multiple choice. 1,001. And the difference between setting it as a quiz or keeping it as a test is, when you just keep it as a test, when you don't click the quiz option, you don't have to select the correct answer. But the moment you make it as a quiz, you will have to tell which of these answers are correct. So here you will notice the moment I go to the settings and I choose quiz and I click make this into a quiz, I get these extra options as the release the grade immediately after each submission. So this you can use if you have that many computers in your college where all the students are giving the test at the same time. So this you will see in some of these entrance tests where the student gets the marks immediately as he clicks submit. But when you're conducting tests over a period of 1 hour with some students giving the test first and some later, I will always click this option as later after manual review, as at any point of time the teacher has this option of allowing the grades to go to the student. So you can decide, maybe at the evening you click and you go to your responses and click release grades. So it can be manually controlled by you. Whereas when it is immediately after submission, the moment the first student submits, he immediately gets to know his grade and the correct and the wrong answers. So even that setting you can set whether the student will know that he has missed a particular questions, and finally when he gets the review, will he know the correct answers and what are the points for it. So I'll click it as yes. So now you will see that if I have to make it as a quiz, I will have to select this answer. So here I have to click and I have to choose which one of them is the correct answer, and I have to choose how many points. So you have to always remember to put your points here, because in case you forget to add this, you will notice that it always starts off with 0. So that particular question will end up having no score. Easy way to memorize it is I always give my questions numbers, so that in the end I will get to know when I look at this total points on top. So if I'm giving for all the questions 5 points, I know when I finish 20 questions I must have 80 points. So this is how you set a question, multiple choice question. So for the same question you want to add an image. So what do? So all you have to do is when you click when you're typing the question, there's this one option where you can attach an image. So you can click that and you can click the image that you want to attach, which is on your Google Drive, and it will load that particular image in front of this question. So it may take a while until it loads depending on the speed of your internet. So now let us see what are the other types of questions. So short answer is, so anything that is maybe restricted to under 100 words. So usually the name, all those demographic details comes as short answer. If you're giving a long assignment, then you can give the option of a paragraph. Most commonly used are multiple choice or the check boxes or drop down boxes. So we always commonly use multiple choice. Then linear scale, when to you don't want to clearly define what it means. So I'll tell rate my class, and here if I choose linear scale, it gives me an option of just setting the number, and I can set it up to 10, and it's up to you whether you want to label what 1 and 10 stand for. So usually you can tell rate my class on scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is low and 10 is excellent. So you can see that the student will see it in this format where it will be in the box of a check box. Then one more type of question is your file upload. So you want to give an assignment to a student where he has to collect a particular case sheet, take a photograph and upload. So you can give it as an assignment. You can choose assignment, click image of a deranged lipid profile, and you can choose here file upload. So now what the student will get is the student will get this option of attaching a file to this particular answer. So you can see that now since I have made it as a file upload, it asks me to specify how many files the student can attach and what is the maximum size of the file. It's always good to restrict it to 10 MB or 100 MB. Otherwise, it is your Google Drive that will get filled by this data. And as you all know, we only have 15 GB of Google Drive, which is free. So now if I preview this by clicking this eye icon, you can see that the email address is compulsory. This is the multiple choice question, and this is a rating scale, and here the student can click add file and attach that particular answer. So this particular file upload option can be given in the form of assignments. So in cases where you are unable to conduct daily test, or the student is not able to attend classes, which is the current scenario, you can always choose this assignment option where you can suggest some resource, learning resource or reading material, and you can ask the student to write an essay or a few points about key points about that particular case, write it on a Word document and attach it as an assignment, which can be graded by you at a later time. So now lastly, we'll go into the option of how to create a section based Google form, like the one in the consent form that I showed. So here I'll make it as a consent form. So first question, you can keep the name, second age, click add question. So here I'll put my consent form, and you can give option as yes or no. So the difference is, after this what you have to do is you have to click this particular button on the right hand side which says add a section. So the moment you click that, you can see it creates one more section. And now on clicking this particular question and going to the right lower hand corner, the three dots, it will give you this option of go to section based answer. So I will click this, and now it tells me, so if a person clicks yes, continue to the next section, that is what I want. If the person clicks no, what I want is, I want him to submit the form. So that is the end of that particular person's Google form. So I'll click submit form. And here you can give the name for your section 2, which is your questionnaire. And then you can add questions regarding your study. So if you preview this form, you will notice that first you will only be able to see the first form, and only if you click yes can you go into the next form. So just to highlight this, I'll show you. If I click no and I click next, it will not go to the second page, it will go to the submit to finish. So only when your choice is yes will it go to the next section. So this not only in the form of consent form, so you can have these long case based questions where only when the student chooses a particular answer, he is redirected to a different format, and if he chooses the other option, he is directed to one more set of questions. So this can be higher order of questioning in MCQs by making it section based on the selection of the student. You can actually continue the questionnaire in that direction. So this is just a very basic overview of how to use Google Forms and what are the different options that you get in Google Forms. And the most important thing is, for any of the forms, if you want to see the responses, all you have to click is this option responses, and the moment someone responds, you will get their responses here. And all the Google Forms, including short answers and paragraph answers, can be converted into a spreadsheet. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe and click like if you like the video.